Welcome, everyone. This is the 8th public session of the Board of Commissioners on Monday, April the 11th, 2016. The board met in executive session today for a legal matter. It does say 6:45 a.m., but we met at 6:45 p.m. So that was just a typo. And Mr. Gentili, if you would take the roll, please.
Will do. Mr. D'Amelio?
Present.
Mr. McCluskey?
Present.
Mr. Siegel?
Here.
Mr. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. Holmes? He is here. Mr. McGarity?
Here.
Mr. Wexler?
Here.
Mr. Luba?
Here.
Mr. Costa?
Here. For everyone, please stand, and Father Ryan Whitley from St. George's Episcopal Church.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down upon those who hold office in this township the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Deputy Chief.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I thank you very much. And we will start off this evening with proclamations. Commissioner Lewis is already in motion.
Oh, in Westgate.
Good evening. I'm pleased this evening on behalf of the Board of Commissioners to recognize Joaquin Gonzalez for his selfless and heroic actions that he took back in mid-February to bring his family and a neighboring family to safety when a fire broke out on Dayton Road. So if Mr. Gonzalez could come forward, and his wife, Nancy, and his daughter, Sienna. Come on up here. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, whereas the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Haverford, County of Delaware, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is honored to recognize a tried and true township resident, Joaquin Gonzalez. Whereas on February 15, 2016 at approximately 4:15 a.m., Mr. Gonzalez was awakened by a phone call from work. When he woke up, he immediately detected a strong smell of smoke on the second floor area of his home. Mr. Gonzalez went downstairs to the first floor area of his residence to investigate the source of the smoke and discovered the entire first floor of his residence was enveloped in smoke. He immediately returned to the second floor where he woke up his wife Nancy and 8-year-old daughter Sienna, and whereas Mr. Gonzalez escorted his wife, daughter, and family's 2 pets, Princess and Fuzzy, out of the residence and into the family car. Nancy contacted 911 while he re-entered his residence to investigate the source of the smoke and to notify his neighbors. And whereas Mr. Gonzalez discovered the smoke originated from what was later determined to be an electrical fire on the outside rear porch area of 646 Dayton Road, which ironically was his family's residence prior to purchasing 648 Dayton Road, Mr. Gonzalez immediately banged on the rear door of the residence in an attempt to alert the occupants. He also retrieved a fire extinguisher and attempted to extinguish the fire prior to being told to vacate the area by the arriving Brookline Volunteer Fire Company and the Haverford Township Police Department. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Mr. Gonzalez's intrepid and heroic actions that were on display during the early morning hours of February 15th deserve to be recognized. Mr. Gonzalez discarded his own personal safety to help his own family and the family next door, which includes a mother, father, and a small child. Proclaimed this 11th day of April 2016, the Township of Haverford Board of Commissioners. Congratulations, Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez sets a fine example for all of us to follow as residents of Haverford Township. I'd also like to bring up the residents of 66646 Dayton Road, Amy, John, and Joey Keener, who were his neighbors, who were actually the beneficiaries of his heroic and selfless actions. So I understand it's Joey's 4th birthday. So happy birthday to Joey.
Hey, Joey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Joey. Hey.
I don't know whether Mr. Robert Stork is here by chance. Is Mr. Stork here? Right here. Oh, I want to thank him also for making me aware of this. I appreciate it very much, and I think it's great that, you know, when residents see other residents take heroic actions or selfless actions or acts of volunteerism, it's great that you tell your ward commissioner of the township so these folks can be properly recognized and thanked. So thank you for bringing it to my attention. So thank you all.
Okay, Commissioner Lewis, thank you. All right, we're going to have a recreation presentation. Commissioner Oliva, go ahead, and Mr. Denny from the Department of Recreation and Assistant Township Manager. Brian, you're heading up.
I'd like to invite up Mr. Barry Bessler. Barry drove out from Philadelphia to be with us tonight, and he's from the Pennsylvania Recreation and Park Society. Barry?
Thank you, Tim. Good evening, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here in Haverford Township. As Tim said, I'm from the other side of City Line Avenue. My day job is I work for the Parks and Recreation Department in Philadelphia. But I do get to spend a lot of time out here in Havertown. I have family that lives over on Greenbrier Lane. Excuse me. So visiting grandkids and things like that brings me out to this township, and I always enjoy myself when I'm out here. Excuse me. The reason that I'm here tonight is that Haverford Township Parks and Recreation Department has been bestowed a tremendous honor by an organization that I am a member of and that I represent here tonight, the Pennsylvania Recreation and Park Society. And that is a statewide organization of about 1,600 individuals like myself, Brian, Tim, who are professionals in the field of recreation and parks. And at our annual conference in the month of March, Haverford Township Parks and Recreation was recognized with the first ever Agency of the Year award by the Pennsylvania Recreation and Park Society. The young lady in the front row here asked me earlier, is this a big deal? Let me tell you folks, this is a very big deal. Your township and the folks that represent your township were up against every other township in the entire Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for this award. Nominations were accepted, and Haverford Township has received this very prestigious award from the Pennsylvania Recreation and Park Society. Let me read to you just a little bit about from the nomination that clinched this award for your township. Haverford Township was chosen by a national blue ribbon panel because it displayed innovative and collaborative approaches in moving their mission forward and demonstrated a particular resourcefulness, especially over the last 5 years. When faced with the challenge of what to do when a local state hospital closed, the township and the Parks and Recreation Department stepped up to both save the land and create community facilities. What resulted was 209 acres of Haverford Reserve, which includes senior housing, open space, trails, 4 athletic fields, a community-built playground, a dog park, and a geothermal-powered, self-sustaining community recreation and environmental center I'm sure you're all familiar with. To achieve this seemingly impossible dream required a combination of persistence, vision sharing, educating the public, and working with the many user groups who would benefit from such development. The Haverford Township Parks and Recreation Department continues to be a community leader in educating the public on conservation and good stewardship. and has expanded the green practices noted in the township's 2008 Climate Action Plan at Haverford Reserve and the other 33 parks in the township. Rain garden technology, a leaf composting program, and moderated maintenance practices to reduce pollution are all examples of the green initiatives which have become the standard in your township. By educating the public through their nature series and environmental forums, they have connected people of all ages to nature and exposed them to the best green practices. And these efforts earned the department the prestigious PRPS and Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Green Park Award in 2013. Residents like yourself are proud that their township is seen as a leader in southeastern Pennsylvania in recreation and park facilities and services, trail development, conservation practices, and cultural offerings. This success has helped the department acquire significant grants and inspired township officials to approve capital bonding for the township's 33 other parks. They are fortunate that their elected leaders are supportive and aware of the value the residents place on parks and recreation. So on behalf of the Pennsylvania Parks and Recreation Society, it's my great privilege to be here tonight to present this very handsome award to the Haverford Township Parks and Recreation Department. And please, as residents, I hope you understand how important this is and take great pride that your commissioners and the staff of your Parks and Recreation Department here in Haverford Township have accomplished this for you. Thank you very much.
At this time, first of all, I want to thank Commissioner Oliva and Commissioner O'Connell. They drove all the way across the state to be with us at our conference to receive this award. So again, I want to thank you guys for coming out. I also have a few of our staff here. Matt Duffus is our outdoor supervisor up the reserve, and Eileen Matola is our facilities coordinator and handles all of our park permits and our rentals. And a couple other people, Jason O'Brien, our maintenance crew, could not be here. Eric Gillard, our supervisor of the CREC, could not be here, but at least some of these guys are here, and obviously it's been a great run, and Barry, I appreciate you coming out, and of course to the Board of Commissioners, and especially Larry Gentili, there he is. Larry, as I said out there at the conference, we're fortunate that we have a very supportive board and a township manager, and of course you, the residents, so thank you very much.
I'll keep it short. All I want to say is that I know how good this Park and Recreation Department is. I know how good Larry and our Park Recreation staff is. Now we know the whole state thinks the same way we do. We really, I can't believe we got the award, and it is a really big deal in the state. So thank you guys.
Luckily, Brian's strong.
Back up the easel. It is also the biggest award they've ever given.
I get to photobomb this.
By far.
Hey, Brian. You got me in there? Oh, good. We'll be in a picture, too.
Come back here for a minute after you're done.
Okay, sure.
You go right ahead.
Get in there, Kyle. O'Connell. Oh, Mr. O'Connell.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's Next item on the agenda, we do have a proclamation for Arbor Day. Commissioner McCluskey, if you would please read that for us.
Arbor Day Proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas the holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of precious topsoil by wind and water, lower our heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperatures, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are renewable resources giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our community increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, Haverford Township Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim the last Friday in April as Arbor Day in Haverford Township, and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, the Board of Commissioners of Haverford Township urge all citizens to plant and care for trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Proclaimed this 11th day of April, 2016, Township of Haverford.
Thank you, Commissioner, very much. In fact, there is a tree planting coming up the 23rd and the 24th of this month. Gene has it's Angels or Us? Mm-hmm. Yes, if anybody's interested in helping plant the trees with the tree tenders, you can contact Gene Angel at angelsorus.com. I think it's Angels. I'll get it before the meeting, before the meeting's over. But it's a great thing, especially with the young kids. We could certainly use your muscles and everything to move these trees for us. All right? Thank you, Commissioner. Township order update.
Good evening. I've reviewed the disbursements for the period commencing March 15th and ending April 11th. I raised certain questions. All those questions were answered to my satisfaction by the Township Finance Director. So in my opinion, there are no irregularities for the period in question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zlotnick. Item number 5 on the agenda is Citizens Forum. It's 20 minutes, registered speakers, 20 minutes, agenda items. For the registered speakers tonight, speaker number 1, we're going to have Mr. Armini for the skate park.
Good evening. Michael Armine, 25 Upland Road, Haverford Township. On the 31st of last month, the Haverford Township Skate Park Advocacy Group met with the Hilltop Civic Association to discuss the possible relocation of the skate park to one of 2 sites, Richland Park and Steel Field. Myself, my colleague Dan, and Commissioner Wexler were there, and while I cannot speak for the Hilltop Civic Association, that meeting was overwhelmingly positive, and the biggest complaints of noise and aesthetics were discussed. And so I'm here tonight to ask this group of commissioners to allow us to begin relocating the park to Richland Park. This gives us the ability to do a couple of things. First, it gets us out of your hair for a little while. Second, it allows us to begin developing the site, meaning working with the Parks Board to repave the site with new macadam. Third, it allows us to purchase with money that we've raised and money that we are currently raising new equipment for the park that is safe to skate, and there's no nails sticking up and things like that. And lastly, as we kind of approach the 11th hour on ground being broken at the Veterans Field site, it gives us the ability to kind of rest our heads for a little while, allow us to regroup and work on raising large state grants for the redevelopment of the entire Richland site. So again, I'm here to ask for your blessing to allow us to begin working on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Twaddle?
Dan Twaddle, 319 Bewley Road. I am here to inform the board that on April 2nd, we had our first fundraising event at the Crec, and we had a good showing. We had competition from the Villanova basketball game that evening, but we still had a good showing. We managed to raise $650 from that night, and from another $500 we had raised previously, I have a check tonight for the township in the amount of $1,150, and I also have Mario's prize that he won through our raffle that we had that night. So
He's not allowed to win.
I donate it back.
No, we hung out and we had a raffle of a bunch of donated stuff that came from Elfin Co. Skate Shop, Sometimes Skateboard Clothing, Blue Rooted, and Relapse Records. So without anything else to say, I have a check for the township and Mario's prize package.
Might as well grab the check while you're there. It's going to go to Mr. Gentili.
Mr. Gentili, that's who it goes to. Yeah. Don't give the check to me.
Thank you very much. And coordinating those efforts will be through Recreation. So congratulations.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming out.
Next on the list, Dr. Levin.
Thank you, Mr. Connell. My name is Mike Levin. I live at 414 Mill Road in Havertown. I have been interested in two topics tonight. First is the municipal building and the police station proposed. I've asked Mr. Gentili to give you this on your computers, and he has told me that he has, but I'm sending you a sheet in any event. The first topic I want to discuss is the proposed municipal building and police station. It is an agenda item number 14. For several months, I have been requesting information about what you plan to do for this building. All requests up until the end of March have been refused, based upon the fact that this was still in the process of formation. I'm sorry that this occurred. However, I did obtain access to the materials during the past week and had a chance to make a preliminary review of them, including the floor plans. I don't have the floor plans, nor the internal circulation patterns, nor the room sizes of this long-awaited building. Tentatively, I found out by shadow diagram that this building has been sited near the western side of the property, westerly side. It has been sited in an area where the soils are relatively deep compared to the top of the ridge, which is near the stadium. In true to its prior statement, the number of geotechnical test borings has been restricted to the environs of the building itself. Therefore, you're almost blinded to what is occurring on the other portions of the site. Siting the building at the top of the rise would give that building a more impressive feel. As it stands right now, it is low. It is low in comparison with the stadium, and the stadium greatly overpowers it. The building has been sited in such a position that it consists of a front entrance facing Darby Road and a rear entrance serving the police station, although rear is probably the wrong word for it, and I apologize for that. Since the building has been sited on the downhill side, the police station is partly dug into the ground. Not a good idea. Soils are everything in Havertown. The Glenville soils have specific characteristics. You really don't want to put anything into the ground unless you have to. So I have stated that the municipal building is overpowered by the presence of the stadium. The founding of the building would likely involve spread footings or sonotubes, relatively deeper in the soils than those near the top of the rise. Additionally, a building founded at the present downhill location would be less well suited to add another higher floor if additional space would be needed. Nor has the building in its present form been engineered to be such a platform which could appreciably save additional construction costs. From my experience with the materials, it doesn't appear that a model was made. That would be something that anyone could look at to see how this is going to fit on that site. The site is a congested site to begin with. The exit for this building is on Manoa Road and on Darby Road. Manoa Road is the last uncongested road in Havertown. It's the last road that you have to take egress or ingress into Havertown during rush hours. This has been known for a long time. I have made these comments to the commissioners, to several commissioners during the time that we were there examining it. In 2006, you have known about this project at least for 9 or 10 years, and nothing has been done. Meanwhile, the Y has been built, and the township is receiving revenue. No revenue was placed, for example, into Harvard Square, which I'll discuss with you at the end of this meeting in the open forum. I thank you very much, and I hope that these can still be taken into account, even though the plans that I have seen are practically cast in paper all by themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Levin. I want to start on this side of the room. This is for agenda items, and remind everybody that there is 3 minutes. This side of the room, first row, second row, third row, fourth. This side of the room on the first row, second row, third row, fourth. Okay. Thank you very much. As we said before, everything with recreation and the township and your local commissioner will go through. Mr. Wexler, I guess you're.
Yeah, like that. We did have a meeting, and as Mike pointed out, there was some positive feedback. Since then, I've had some negative, but one of the things when I discussed with the township, it'd be nice to just pick up things and move it, but we can, but we still have to adhere to all the rules and regulations that any builder would have to do. We have to look at the planning commission. We have to go before them. We have to do that. We also have some real estate issues that we're negotiating with for possibly another site, which would make it the ability to have a skate park in a lot larger facility too. So that's going to happen over the next several weeks. So we may have a better understanding. And I think we discussed some of those things at the meeting. So once we have our real estate issues sorted out, we can pick the final spot and then go ahead and do that. So, so I'd like to, make it a professional skate park similar to the one at Radnor, have it look nice. I've actually looked at several of them, and it's a great idea. And we want it to be a first-rate one. We don't want to just have an ad hoc one, but I think we want to adhere to the same thing. Get the input from the Parks Board, their recommendation as it falls under Parks and Recreation. Their advisory board can weigh in on it as well, and then we'll go back and do the normal things that we have to do as any private developer would to develop a piece of property that we own. But I think we're in good shape. We have 2 good spots, and it's a matter of picking the best one for us. So, thanks.
Thank you very much.
And Dr. Levin, thank you very much for your detailed comments. As you're aware, the plans for this building are still ongoing. Once they're finalized, this board will get additional presentations from the engineers and the project manager, as well as our township engineer. So there'll be more information forthcoming in the next few weeks.
As far as the trees go, Angels Are Us, it's ANGELLSRUS, Angels Are Us, at Comcast.net, if anybody would like to be a part of that on April 23rd or 24th, please send your email to Gene Angel, and we're more than happy. I know Mario's been there several times. I'll be there.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Planting trees.
Planting trees.
Yep.
For the betterment. Okay. All right, moving on to item number 6. We have approval of the minutes. Commissioner D'Amelio.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of March the 14th, 2016.
Second.
And seconded. Roll. Any comments? Take the roll, please.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
Mr. Connell?
Yes. Commissioner Holmes, approval of the warrants?
Mr. President, I move we approve warrant number 4 of 2016 totaling $3,045,020.30, comprising the general and sewer fund payroll for March 24, 2016 in the amount of $613,059.39. The jewel, I'm sorry,
It's 3 cents?
what'd I say?
30 cents, I think it's
39?
at the top figure.
3?
3, yeah, you said 30, okay.
Oh, did I? I'll start all over again.
For 27 cents.
We're at
you
number
should.
4.
Typo.
Totaling $3,045,020.03.
Thank you.
Comprising the general and sewer fund payroll for March 24, 2016, in the amount of $613,059.39. The general and sewer fund payroll for April 7 of 2016 in the amount of $582,652.97. General fund disbursements number 4 of 2016 in the amount of $1,520,155.22. Sewer fund disbursements number 4 of 2016 in the amount of $135,237.31. The Community Development Block Grant Fund disbursement number 4 of 2016 in the amount of $54,973.09. Home Grant Fund number 4 of 2016 in the amount of $28,386.00. Capital Project Fund disbursements number 4 of 2016 in the amount of $106,718.25. And a credit card statement ending March 27 of 2016 in the amount of $3,837.80.
3,000.
3,000.
What'd I say?
3 million.
And a rough
Yeah,
night.
it is not a $3 million.
Whatever.
I thought I was reading my own credit card balance there, right then.
You don't
No,
want to
the
start.
township's credit card statement ending March 27, 2016, in the amount of $3,837.80. I apologize for my errors, Mr. President.
Second.
Rough night.
Seconded by Mr. Oliva. Comments?
Mr. President, despite my troubles there, Mr. Zlotnick had far fewer problems going through these disbursements, nor did he have any of his questions unanswered or any concerns of his unaddressed. And since he recommends that we approve them, I agree with him and recommend to my fellow commissioners that they approve these warrants.
Thank you very much. Any comment? Nope. Okay, take the roll, please.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. McGarity. Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
And Mr. Connell?
Yes. Item number 8, Mr. Wexler.
President, make a motion to adopt the second reading of ordinance P6, 2016, authorizing the acquisition of the property at 1320 Steel Road, Havertown, Pennsylvania, subject to an appraisal, review, and acceptance by the township solicitor of the agreement.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Oliva. Comments? Roll, please.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity stepped out. Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
And Mr. Connell?
Yes. Item number 9, ordinance number P7, 2016, is a 7th Ward issue. Mr. McGarity, you going to do that one?
Yes.
Item number 9.
Motion to adopt the second reading of ordinance P7 2016, authorizing the lease of the property at 40 West Manila Road, Haverford Town, PA, for police and construction storage.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. D'Amelio. Comment? Take the roll, please.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarry?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
Mr. Connell?
Yes. Item number 10 is ordinance number PA 2016, which is finance.
Mr. President.
Commissioner Holmes.
Mr. President, I move that we amend ordinance number 2705, 2013, enacted on September 9th, 2013, to revise the capital projects to be financed with the proceeds of the township's general obligation fund series of 2013, and this would be ordinance P8 of 2016.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. D'Amelio. I'm sorry, by Commissioner Oliva. You guys all look alike. Sorry.
Sure.
Comments?
Mr. President, this is an issue that we discussed last week at our work session. It is within our 2013 project, within our 2013 series of general obligation bonds. We have added to the capital project descriptions. This is something we are allowed to do under the law, but something also necessary under the law. And we have moved construction of vehicle maintenance garage, construction of municipal services building, storm sewer construction and improvements, and road improvements, which total to approximately about $5.8 million of those bond proceeds, and the estimated useful life of all of those projects is averages about 30 years, and they are projects that we need to do now and still have the proceeds available to do, and our township finance director has asked us to enact this amendment, and our bond counsel has reviewed it. So I recommend that we pass it.
Further comment?
So, yeah, how much is earmarked for the new building here? Is it
Out of the 2013 bonds, nothing.
nothing? Okay.
The old.
Yeah.
This is the old bond. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the roll, please.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Since I oppose the construction of the municipal services building, I'm going to vote no.
This doesn't have anything to
no-
do
This
with
doesn't
the
have anything to do
construction.
with
of
no
municipal
funds
services
related to
building.
it.
It says 3.425 million.
The construction of municipal services building 3.425.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Yep.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I
hold
like
on
everything
then.
else, so I'm going to, but I like everything else, but I'm going to vote no on that basis. So.
Okay, so I have a problem too. I'd like to rescind my vote and vote no.
All right, correction on that is,
All right, yeah.
I asked if it was in the new building, and they said
It did,
no.
and I gave you a bad answer on that.
That's okay.
So, right, one of the things we're adding to the capital project is the construction of, we're adding to the approved projects under the 13 bonds is the construction of the municipal services building, $3,425,000. That in particular has an asset life of 40 years.
Mr. President, just again, I agree with Commissioner Lewis, and I vote no. I rescind my vote and vote no.
okay, and that's noted. Okay. Continue with the roll, please.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
No.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
And Mr. Connell?
Yes. Item number 11, First Ward, Commissioner D'Amelio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the first reading of ordinance number P9, 2016, authorizing traffic restrictions on the following highways. Establish sticker parking only, Melrose Avenue, 1900 block, both sides, including the cul-de-sac, all hours/days, and residential permit parking only signs.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner McGarity. Comments? Take the roll, please.
D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
And Mr. Connell?
Yes. Okay, item number 12, resolution 2008-2016. Commissioner Oliva?
All right, motion to adopt resolution number 2008-2016, announcing that April is designated Fair Housing Month, and that all employees and officers are designated to continue to promulgate fair housing objectives and continue to assist all persons who may fall within the scope of the Fair Housing Act.
Second.
Commissioner McCluskey. Comments? Take the roll, please.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
And Mr. Con.
Yes. Item number 13 is also finance.
Final allocations for the funds for the 42nd year Community Development Program and the 2016-17 Action Plan. Motion to adopt resolution number 2009-2016, approving final allocation for funds for the 42nd year Community Development Program and the 2016-2017 Action Plan, and that no changes are made to the Citizens Participation Plan.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wexler. Comments? Take the roll, please.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
Mr. Connell?
Yes. Item number 14, Resolution 2010-2016 for land development.
Final Land Development Plan, 1010 Darby Road. Motion to adopt resolution number 2010-2016, approving the final development plan for the Township of Haverford for the property located at 1010 Darby Road, Havertown, PA, Haverford Township, Delaware County, and known as DC Folio number 2207-00934-00, and also identified as Delaware County Tax Map Parcel number 22-32-924-000, has been submitted to raise the existing township police station and construct an approximately 43,000 square foot combined police and township administration building with parking and associated site improvements. The subject property is zoned INS Institutional District and is located in the 7th Ward. The aforesaid plans were prepared by the Navy Now Incorporated, Wayne, PA, dated February 26, 2016, subject to compliance with the Planning Commission recommendations.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Holmes. Comments? Take the roll, please.
D'Amelio?
No.
McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
And Mr. Connell?
Yes. Item number 15, Resolution number 2011-2016 for the Westchester Pike Corridor. Commissioner D'Amelio?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2011-16, approving the Haverford Township hereby requests a CMAQ grant in the amount of $600,000 from the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission to be used for the installation of adaptive traffic control systems for 9 intersections on Westchester Pike between the Coles Driveway and Glengarry Road. The Board of Commissioners does hereby designate Lawrence J. Gentile, Township Manager, as the official to execute all documents and agreements between the Township and the DVRPC to facilitate and assist in obtaining the requested grant.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Oliva.
I'd just like to say this is needed in this area where we have a lot of congestion because of the Blue Route. I get a lot of complaints along Westchester Pike, and people are just sick of sitting in traffic, and so this would go a long way to helping move the traffic through there.
Well, it's true, and as you know, and the deputy chief knows at my constituent meeting at Manoa Firehouse, they always bring this up as well. Can we just elaborate on what exactly this is going to do, Dave, or the chief?
I can certainly, and if I don't do it justice, Dave, you can certainly chime in. You recall, we were a recipient of the Traffic Adaptive Grant for the triangle of Westchester Pike and Darby Road, Westchester Pike and Township Line, and Lansdowne and Darby Road as well, or Lansdowne and Township Line. It's the same thing. It's this traffic adaptive is their camera-based monitoring that will help the flow of traffic. When it sees traffic backed up, the cameras talk to each other and move traffic. Now, I'm giving you in layman's terms, but basically that's what it does. The best way that Dave explained it to me, it's like having a police officer with a radio at every intersection. Traffic backs up, the intersections are talking to each other.
Is it going to go past the blue route?
Eventually it will.
So we're going to go up to the blue route?
Not ours. Not ours. Ours will go down this grant. Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll go down the Glengarry.
Oh, just the Glengarry.
So you think about it, the triangle's gonna have it, because we purchased that.
Right.
On the other end, there's a development that's going in the Marple side of the Blue Route on the north side, the south side of Westchester Pike.
Right.
And that development is gonna be required when it goes to put the same adaptive system in from New Ardmore, which is the top of the hill, down to Old Westchester Pike in Haverford Township. So that'll be those intersections, and this would close the gap up in between.
Is the new development going where New Ardmore Road is? Is that, or?
Well, it's a little further down the hill from New Ardmore. If you drive up the hill from the Blue Route, it's on your left-hand side. It's cut in.
It's cut into the Blue Route.
Well, it's just west of the Blue Route. Just
Yeah,
west
if
of
you're
476.
coming down from Marple, it's in Marple.
Yeah, I
If
know.
you're coming down the hill towards Haverford Township.
But what
it's
is
on the
it?
right-hand
Do you
side.
know?
It's commercial development. It's commercial development. Yeah. I mean, it's rumored to be a supermarket and an LA Fitness, but that's not definitive. But it's a pretty substantive commercial development.
We're just going to have more traffic to that area.
Which has nothing to do with the development further up. No. In Marple Township.
No.
Right.
Oh, no.
Completely
No,
separate.
Cardinal Howard property,
Yep.
entirely
Yep,
different.
Completely separate.
Yep.
Okay.
So this grant, as I said, 20% match. As soon as our days get a little longer, we're going to make a presentation to this board on a live traffic adaptive system that's at Route 202 and Route 1 that we help put in.
Dave, will there be any hearings coming up for that development? Do you know of?
The one in Marple on Westchester Pike, I believe that's done.
Is that settled?
I believe so, because I believe, boy, Jim might even know a little better than me. I believe that was a court-settled development. The other project, the big one by O'Hara, there's a tremendous, there's still a lot of hearings going on that one.
Oh, yeah, that's not even.
That hasn't even gotten to the point where there's any
That's not
approvals.
close to settle.
But I think the one we're
I get
talking
their
about,
emails.
Steve, I believe that was resolved and approved maybe decades ago.
So when is construction going to begin, or do we know?
We don't.
I'm asking the solicitor.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Dave. You said you didn't know, so that's why I was asking Jim if he knew.
I don't know either.
Can you find out?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know if they're slated yet.
Thanks.
There's no further discussion. Take the roll, please.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
And Mr. Connell?
Yes. Item number 16, the 2016 road program contract awards for Public Works.
Motion to award the 2016 road program contract to Joseph E., it says such, but it's Suker, I think, and Sons.
Yep.
In the amount of $885,607.50, submitting the lowest responsible bid.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner D'Amelio. Comments? There being none, take the roll, please.
Mr. D'Amelio?
Yes.
Mr. McCluskey?
Yes.
Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McGarity?
Yes.
Mr. Wexler?
Yes.
Mr. Oliva?
Yes.
Mr. Connell?
Yes.
Mr. President, I don't know whether I'm allowed to do this or not, but I'd like to change my vote on item number 14. I was distracted, and I meant to vote no, because this has to do with the township building and the approval of that land development plan. So if I'm allowed to do that, I'd like to change my vote. Is that a problem?
What was it? This one here?
Resolution number 14.
Resolution for the-
210-2016?
Right, final land development plan, 1010 Darby Road.
Consistent with my position of in opposition.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to change the outcome of the
I know.
vote, so I think we could do
But-
that, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I apologize to the board.
Okay, so then that is noted that Commissioner Lewis is a no vote on item number 14.
while we're all bearing our souls, Mr. McGarry, do you want to change your vote? You voted no.
Mr. Holmes.
I'm not being funny, in all seriousness. I mean, because you also voted no for the.
Yeah, but Mr. Holmes, I'm not saying a word, so I don't know why you're wondering what I voted and what I didn't vote, but I exercised my right to how I felt earlier.
Okay.
But thank you very much for worrying about me, Larry. I mean, that's the first time. Thank you. He patted me on the back.
Item number 17, the continuation of citizens forum for non-agenda items. Anybody this side of the room? Okay. I'm going to go this side of the room. First row. Second row. Yep.
Hi there, Judy Trombetta, 2113 Darby Creek Road, Havertown, PA. Also the district director for Senator Leach. Just introducing myself and to say I'm here, I'm listening. If you guys need anything from the senator, I'll take notes and I'll bring them back to the senator. And if we need to set up meetings, I'd be happy to do that. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any grant money for our skate park?
All right, so there's a few people. So let me get back here. Dave, did you want to speak? No? Okay, come on up.
Creed, 548 Washington Avenue, Havertown, PA. Just touching base, I wanted to thank Chris, Commissioner Connell, and Lori, again, the developer for Harvard 7, Harvard Road. Just more drama, I guess. Not covering the piles that are rumored to have the coal ash and so on, but thanks to Lori and I guess Chris for getting some of the public works guys out there to actually fix the fences. Like, to take a step back, the fences were down for days, almost a week, that protect the property. Again, the developer lives like 10 minutes away. You think he'd be sick of all these complaints and so on, but my understanding is the township people had to go out and make sure the fences were erected. And thanks to Lori staying on them, the developer did come out on it every so many days and recover the piles of contaminated soil. What else? I think when we were here last month, it sounded like there was going to be some phone calls made and so on. I'm not sure if there were any updates on that, but we've now been engaged with the Inspector General's office of the state, waiting for some assistance there. But I think at the end of the last meeting, Mr. Wexler made a good point that I think we were all relieved to hear when he mentioned something about, you know, regardless of when the votes and everything that took place when the township voted on allowing this property for development, you know, given in light of everything that's been discovered, you know, the 1,300 tons of contaminated soil, and almost when they do dig or work there, just, you know, every week it's something else, and, you know, the 5 breaches of stormwater running into Mr. Booth's property. As many of you may or may not know, Delaware County Conservation District wrote them up, I think 5 violations for the water leaving the property. The erosion control still not fixed. I think they wrote that up on the 30th of March. So Wednesday of this week is the 14-day period that they're supposed to have it fixed, and they've not done anything yet. You know, and according to that report, I think it's like a $10,000 a day fine or something. So I don't know if Lori knows anything there or not, but anyway, it's just, you know, like I said, whatever, you know, the good intentions of this development, you know, a couple of years ago, between the behavior of the developer and pretty lame oversight from the DEP and just discoveries of literally hundreds and thousands of tons of contaminated soil, we're just looking for an injunction to halt this thing until it's properly evaluated, thoroughly tested, and then, you know, a clear remediation plan that everybody agrees on. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in that row? Dr. Levin?
Mike Levin, I'm still at the same address, at the same stand, too. I've been examining the specifications for Harvard 7 at 2 locations. One is within DEP files, all of the files, about 30 pounds of them. And second, in the book of specifications that accompanies the diagrams for the building of at least one residence. I find that there is a problem with this. The vapor barrier that's put beneath those buildings is 6 millimeters, 6 mils in thickness. That's the equivalent of about 3 trash bags as they come out of the box. That is decidedly inadequate. Landfills have a 30 mil vapor barrier underneath. The top of the Superfund site has been protected with a 20 mil barrier, and that broke down recently in one location. So it is probable that jagged crushed rock has already caused the demise of the vapor barrier beneath the foundation. The soil conditions are devoted in 1/2 page. That's totally inadequate. This describes an area, I'm quoting, of contaminated soil by the engineer McCombie who studied it. An area, the whole site is contaminated. He's incorrect in his statement. He further goes on that, quote, contamination by exposure has been, if contamination by exposure has been encountered, construction must cease until corrective procedures and operations can be employed to eliminate the construction exposure. It neither has ceased for that reason nor for any other corrective actions to reduce exposures on that site. There is a lack of site security and periodic, what I call construction misadventure events on a messy site. So it's proceeding to completion on number 7, much to the dismay of the people who live close by, because it's grossly out of scale with the rest of the community. The regulations are considered to be enforceable, this is according to the specifications, by the Department of Environmental Protection. If not that agency, then by the municipality, Haverford Township, that also granted Harvard 7 the right to continue construction. While the residents appreciate the limited help that has been provided locally to them, it should come as no surprise that affected residents now keep book on and are reporting violations, as well as taking the environmental grievances to higher levels of environmental protection, including the Secretary, John Quigley, and, if possible, the Governor, Tom Wolf. Of course, the residents hope that this could be settled amicably, but so far it has not. I urge you to reconsider both the treatment that the site is getting, for the most part. The walks by Rebecca of the environmental protection are basically walks in the woods. They don't amount to anything.
Thank you, Mr.
I don't understand why this site continues to develop in this way. They have a blanket approval. They're construction people. They build houses. They don't give a darn about the environment.
Thank you.
Take some steps. Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Loretta Curlish. I live at 518 Upland Road in Havertown, and I've been a resident of Haverford Township on and off for about 60-some years, with about 10 years in the city. And I have to tell you that I haven't been to one of these meetings in many, many years. The first meeting I recently attended was a ward meeting that Steve D'Amelio had. It was very interesting, but I guess like a lot of residents, I've sort of been asleep. I just did a new addition on my home, and while that was being built, I was living elsewhere. And when I came back, the Y was completed. And I'm just here to say that I don't know what, as a resident, I can do. I feel very powerless over some of the things that are going on in the township. For instance, the $18 million municipal building. As was said tonight, it doesn't matter if two commissioners vote no because it's going to pass. And I'm just wondering, is there anything that the residents get to vote on anymore? And if not, then I would ask for a couple things from this board of commissioners. Responsible development, and for Pete's sakes, attractive development. I don't think I've ever seen a township go downhill as much as Haverford Township. I recently said that Brookline Boulevard looked more like Beverly Hills than the rest of the place, and that's saying something. They have done a lot in Brookline. But Eagle Road looks like an industrial park. We've got nail salons that look like apartment complexes, and yet a resident can't put up a 5-foot fence. So I don't know who the Harvard 7 is, but certainly everyone at this table must know who the individuals behind the Harvard 7 are, because everybody knows them but me. And I'm just begging for people to consider what it's like to be a resident here and wake up and see buses all over our streets. We're surrounded by SEPTA routes on Darby Road, Manoa Road, Eagle Road, Westchester Pike, and crime is up. I just came here to vent a little bit, whether it's on the agenda or not, but I'm disturbed about the Haverford 7, I'm disturbed about the municipal building, and I'm disturbed that we're powerless to do anything. And you know, there's rumors that there's some action against the Y. What that might be, I do not know. But I would hope with 3 lawyers on the board and the solicitor, we would be able to do something with the non-compliance there that I understand is going on. But I'm just begging for some consideration here. I doubt that anybody here lives close to Eagle Road like I do. I don't know, but I doubt it, because you'd realize how ugly the township looks. Thank you for listening. I'm just a really disturbed taxpayer and a longtime resident.
Next row.
Hi, my name's Gene Wazorek. I live at 544 Washington Avenue. I am the closest resident to the site. If I could have a show of hands, how many of the commissioners have personally been to the site? Yeah, I appreciate the ones that have gone. For the rest of you, I think it would be a good idea to see what's out there, because every meeting we're talking about it, so it'd be good to be informed to know exactly what's going on. I could go on and on about how it has affected me personally, but I'm going to be succinct to the point. I just have a 2-page statement of issues. I'll be quick and I'll be done quickly. Okay, I am out of patience, as are all of my neighbors. We want the project shut down. This builder has not shown that the site is toxic-free or safe. He has ignored requests to secure the site, have contaminated dirt piles covered at all times, or address concerns of the neighbors. Since this project has been approved, not one thing has gone as planned. If you, the commissioners, knew then what you know now, I am sure you would not have approved this project. But it's not too late to do the right thing. Do whatever you can to stop construction. Levy every fine and penalty for every infraction that this builder commits. He has and continues to build without an Act 2 clearance from the DEP. At a meeting in January with the DEP, I asked the question, if the builder has completed a property and additional toxins are found on or under the foundation, will you require that builder to tear up the foundation to remove the contamination? The DEP had no answer. What I see is that the builder will continue to build, and when he does not get an Act 2 approval, he will cry hardship and will be allowed to keep the house is up. DEP has already bent to the builder's request to break up the requirement under Act 2 for the approval of the entire site. And he has been permitted to get a lot-by-lot approval under Act 2. And he was given that because he cried financial woes. Please do what you can before it is too late. Shut this project down now.
Last row.
Evening. My name is Frank Welsh. I live at 108 Buck Lane in Haverford. I have two very minor issues in comparison to what you've been talking about tonight. The first one is I drive Darby Road occasionally from Sproul Road to College and College sometimes to Haverford. The route between Sproul Road and College, last count, has 10 street lights that don't work. 10. And the route between Darby Road and Haverford Road has almost as many. So I'm just wondering if at some point somebody can fix the street lights. That's all. Second is I would like to initiate tonight and have you continue at another time the zoning ordinance relating to the height of fences. Because as it is now, the ordinance says that you can build a fence that's 6 feet high, that's 4 feet solid, and then the top 2 feet has to be 50% open. I have, with Lori's help, done some research to find that this is the only township that remains, all our neighboring townships, that have that antiquated code. And that if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, you can't find that kind of fence anymore. They don't make it, which makes me think the code was probably written in the 60s when our only option was spike fencing, you know. And then came along the 4-foot fence with a 2-foot lattice top. They don't make that anymore. If you have to have it made, you pay more. So my objection to the code is that, one, to get a variance for it, you have to pay a pretty hefty fee to get a zoning hearing. Second is, if you do not, and you want a 4-foot solid, 2-foot, 50% open fence, you have to pay more than the marketplace today. So on both counts, the zoning ordinance as it now stands places a burden on the homeowners, which I don't think is necessary anymore, especially since the fence companies don't make it. The hidden burden is on the township. I've come to understand that the zoning codes enforcement office is burdened by this code, and I'm sure that they would like to see it updated. So I hope at some point you can take my inquiry tonight, discuss it, and maybe bring everything up to speed in coordination with all of our surrounding townships. Thank
you. Anyone else? Thank you very much. As far as the, I'm going to start then, and Mr. Welsh, that we will bring it up to the codes officer about your request, but do you want to comment on anything about he's in your ward or anything?
No, I've talked to Mr. Welsh, and we'll continue to pursue his thoughts and talk to Lori and see what the sense of the board is.
Okay. And then also on the Sproul Road and College area with the lights out, we will, Public Works, notify Public Works of the lights.
Mm-hmm. Our sergeant's going to have, the deputy chief is going to have the sergeant assess them and mark those lights for us tonight.
On the night patrol, okay.
Some of them may be PICO issues, but we'll definitely address.
Okay. As Mrs. Kurlish, as far as the responsible development, the township always has responsible development. As far as the attractiveness or something is opinion. You know, one person that likes a building may not like a building.
I realize that, but I mean, who
But we're not going to, we can't go back and forth on it. These developers always go to, if they have to go to the zoning hearing board, if they have to go to the planning commission, it's all public notice that they take place. And everyone is allowed to attend those meetings. They're all public meetings. And they usually come several times. Like, for instance, the development of the municipal building, police station. That has come to this board a few times. It has come to the planning commission. It went to the zoning hearing board. All those are public meetings where everyone has an opportunity to voice their concerns. The township has a website, and you can go on to the website, which has a calendar of events that you can go on there and find out when that public meeting is. And then you can click on there what's at that meeting for that month. Anything else on that?
These meetings are aired on the cable channel, and they're also on YouTube. If anybody's looking to they're having a problem sleeping at night, they can certainly watch.
Anything? The Harvard 7, this development, believe me, has come to us on several times. Every month you come up. And most recently, there was the issue where police were called, and the township did respond to it, but the contractor did as well. That's who tightened up the fences there. We also received an email saying, you know what, there's grounds to issue citations or what have you. And at that point, I asked the board that to please to stop with the comments, stop with the emails and everything, because and then put it into the hands then of our township solicitor. You guys are represented, I believe, by Mr. Broman. Continue to call police if you see something that is of the utmost urgency. If it's life, endangering life. I feel that your concerns then should go to Mr. Broman, who then will contact our township solicitor, because we're at a point where we can't do anything right now other than what this board and what the township has already. Constantly, this board and the staff, I should say, that has been contacted. Lori, were up to say anything? No, okay.
No, it was knocking at the door.
Okay. So I think right now, it's probably best that if you're trying to solidify a case where you already have legal counsel, you should go through the legal counsel, and then we'll go to our counsel as well. I did have an opportunity to speak with Representative Vitale, who said at this point in time, he's not ready to do another meeting. We do have a representative from Dale and Leach's office right here this evening who said, if you have any concerns, so I see you're sitting all together. I don't know if that is accidental or what have you, but okay. So please reach out to
Mr. President,
to them.
I met with Senator Leach on Friday downtown and brought up the issues of Harvard 7 with him. So I trust you folks are getting together right now and having a conversation about that, but he is aware.
Yeah, and I spoke with his office last week as well.
So we are reaching out, and I believe, Mr. Gentile, you did speak with Mr. Vitale's office.
That's right. I did.
About this. Wait a second. One more. Gene?
Yes. So
He's got to come up.
you guys are doing all you
come
can
up.
right now?
Come on up to the mic.
Got to come up to the microphone so we can record.
Yeah. We can't shut it down for the sake of shutting it down. And like what I'm saying is that if you feel that there is a case there, then you have to take it then to your council. The Board of Commissioners just can't go and authorize the township to shut that place down.
No, I understand
If the
that,
police are
but
there,
Fines
and
and penalties for things that they're not doing, they're ignoring, I mean, that's within your power. I mean, from my understanding, that there's not much more you can do besides that. You know, health and safety, that they have to make sure, you know, the property's secure. You know, kids were climbing on the, what was that?
Down to the storm drain.
No, the piece of heavy equipment. There was a front-end loader there. Kids were climbing on it. Police were called. The keys were in the ignition. The builder was notified. I think the builder was notified. They never did anything. One of our neighbors called, because that was a piece of rented equipment, called the company that owned the equipment. Next day, they were out there and took that piece of equipment off site. So the builder, you know, I don't know, did he wash his hands of this? He's not doing anything. And
I know, I can't say the builder has washed his hands of it. And that's the issue here right now, is that if you're building up a case, then we cannot comment on that, because you've already have sought counsel. Mr. Burns, that they have already sought counsel on that. Where is our standing here as a board?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can tell you that we are, I mean, we're on top of it. We're aware of this situation, you know, probably more aware of this situation than any other situation in the township, at least at this point in time. Our code enforcement people are aware of it. You know, we've been doing everything we can do with the other agencies to make sure that everything's okay. But there is a point where we have to be careful that we're not overstepping our bounds. Like we have to, you know, the DEP has to do their job, and then they have to tell us what we need to do. And if, you know, nobody's told us, you know, that the job should be shut down now. Now, I hear you with the tractor, and those kinds of things happen, and you did a good job in calling the police, whoever did that. That was the right thing to do, and get the keys done. But, you know, as somebody said earlier in the meeting, the township did go out and put the fences back up and are staying on top of the.
I can tell you 4 times that the police were called, and they personally, physically, they came out, they put the fence up.
Okay.
You know? I mean, the fence was just, the wind would blow it over, it wasn't secured. This is right at the gate. And, I mean, that's not the police, you know, that's not their job to maintain the property.
No, and nor is the township code enforcement's job to maintain the property either. I mean, we're on top of it. We're doing everything that we can possibly do, and we'll continue to do that, trying to get you help. I mean,
the township was out there this morning, 4 trucks. They were cleaning up the trash on the right-of-way there for the trail. Mm-hmm. And they're cleaning up, you know, right up to the fence. I mean, that's this builder's responsibility. The carrot has not worked, so let's go to the stick.
we'll keep watching it, but I'm telling you that we are doing everything that we can do.
I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Williams, there isn't any further comment. Mr. Williams.
Chris, weren't we done?
Yeah, I thought
No,
I asked
that he'd be allowed to speak.
You're late.
I want to thank the commissioners and the township staff for the efforts they've made to address our concerns regarding the issue that I've been discussing with you for some time. It's been my hope that tonight you've been presented and been able to consider 3 possible solutions to the disagreement between us. My wife and I are reasonable people who are aware of the resources that the township has expended in its attempt to deal with this issue, and we very much appreciate your consideration of the 3 options before you. We've offered these options not because we tire of our efforts or for any other reason. We offer potential solutions because we understand that the township's resources could be better spent elsewhere in Haverford on other activities such as road repair, community investment, and the preservation of open space. We've even shared with you a number of roads that should be eligible for liquid fuels tax reimbursement from the Commonwealth but are not currently receiving it. Some of you may wonder why we continue to pursue our efforts in this particular disagreement. The reasons are 2, safety and property rights. We do not feel safe with the status quo, and we have a history of property destruction to justify our view. As far as property rights, we have a duty as Pennsylvanians and Americans to protect them. Rights not defended are soon revoked. If we can't come to an agreement, we will keep smiling and pressing forward for as long as necessary. We understand that whatever you do is done with what you see as the best interest of the township and your constituents. We also know that you understand that your rights as policymakers and commissioners are only those afforded to you by the Commonwealth. Those rights do not include removing the rights of others in a way not specifically provided for by law. With each day and with each new piece of information, we grow stronger in our conviction that we will prevail. When? Who can say? But the timeline is only of secondary importance. We will continue to do what we need to do, doing our very best not to vex you unnecessarily. We hope that you do not take any of this personally. We certainly don't. In conclusion, let me say that we've been blessed with excellent service from the township staff and from our Commissioner, Andy Lewis. We are indeed lucky to live in Haverford Township and look forward to doing so for many years to come. Thank you.
Mr. Williams, thank you for your comment. We're going to leave it at that. Okay. Item number 17 on the, I'm sorry, 18 on the agenda is new business. Anybody have new business? Item number 19 on the agenda is other business. Commissioner D'Amelio?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank the police and township officials, Larry Gentili, Joe Celia, for attending our first ward meeting. It's always a very productive meeting, and a lot of information is presented to the residents. I also want to thank all the residents that come to that meeting. We can't have it without you being there and presenting your issues, hopefully getting some answers from the township. So I just want to thank the police for coming out and Larry and his staff. And that's really all I have right now.
Commissioner McCluskey?
Sure.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
It's okay.
It's a policeman. I forgot. 2016 Delaware County Police K-9 competition. I had that. Hosted by the Haverford Township Police Department. The competition date is Saturday, May 7th, 2016, from 1 to 4. Is that right? Locations, Haverford Middle School, Field 1701 Darby Road. I will hand this out to the other commissioners. The events will include obstacle course, apprehension, recall, article search. We'll have T-shirts, soft pretzels, and water be available for sale, with proceeds being donated to local causes supporting police K-9s. Come and watch police K-9 teams from the area compete. This event is free and open to the public. And please do not bring any personal dogs. Again, it's May 7th, 1 to 4. I'll pass this down to the other board members. Lois, you want one? Lois, you want one? Yeah, put a few.
Good? All right. It's okay. Following up on Commissioner D'Amelio's talk of a ward constituent meeting, Commissioner Siegel and I are going to host a joint meeting where we were able to have some representatives of the Y, given that it sort of abuts both of our wards. It's going to be on April 20th at 7 o'clock. There'll be township officials. There'll be representatives of the Y there. So residents are encouraged to come hear updates as to what's going on with the Y, and also there'll be some time for questions. We're also going to have Tom Kelly there, who's helping organize Haverford Spring Fest, and there'll be information and some flyers and handouts about a great event that's happening on Brookline Boulevard. And we're also going to have, I'm arranging to have a representative from a new group, Haverford Alliance for Drug Awareness, come and give a presentation as to just some of the monumental efforts that they're trying to undertake in the community, just to raise awareness, both with parents, with children in schools, about drug issues that we have. I've been sort of in a funk all day, and it sort of stems off this. Not that it's necessarily related to drug issues, Monday morning, I take the L into work every day, and I'm on the train, just a typical Monday, thinking about everything that I would have to get done and what's going to happen with this meeting tonight. And there was an unfortunate incident at 40th Street at 7 o'clock this morning, where a junior at Penn lost her life, and it really brings. It brings some perspective on things we do on a daily basis. So, hug your children tonight. I'll leave it to that.
Question, where and when were you speaking of this meeting?
April 20th.
April 20th at 7 o'clock.
Here? Yeah,
in this building.
I'll finish for him. It's April 20th, Wednesday night, at 7 p.m. in this room is our joint meeting, which I've done before with the 3rd Ward. So essentially ditto. I'm not going to repeat everything, and I was actually on the L as well this morning, and it is a sobering event when something like that happens. And I have nothing else.
Commissioner Lewis?
Yes, I'd just like to again congratulate and thank Mr. Gonzalez for his act of heroism and selflessness in that situation, the fire on Dayton Road. Also want to congratulate our rec department on the award that they won and the prestige they have brought to this township. Also want to make residents aware of the fact that we have an Earth Day celebration on Saturday, April 23rd at the Correct from 9 a.m. to noon, and there's a whole list of activities that are planned that look appealing to all ages, so I hope people will come out for that. Also want our residents to know that trying to coordinate a public meeting in late May, early June. I've reached out to Coopertown Elementary to have a public meeting with Commissioner McCluskey and others in PennDOT and our police department with regard to the closing of College Avenue bridges, first the College Avenue Bridge, then the Ardmore Avenue Bridge. But so more to come on that when the date is finalized, but it looks like late May, early June, we'll have at least one public meeting, if not two, because I expect that we'll have a pretty good crowd. And finally, just want to wish one of our township employees who's having surgery on Wednesday the best of luck. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Holmes?
I have nothing, Mr. President. Thank you.
Commissioner McGarity?
Okay, I'll make up for what Larry doesn't have. Okay, the Grange Estate this weekend will have the Cobbs Creek cleanup this coming Saturday from 9 to 12. I want to congratulate Union Methodist Church on Brookline Boulevard. They're celebrating their 100th anniversary. I also want to thank everyone last week. In fact, Kevin was there, Kevin McCluskey, and Mario Oliva, Chris Connell, myself at the Kevin Kane 5K run at Annunciation Church. Even though the weather was not that great, the turnout was even better than the weather. So we thank you for attending that. It was a great turnout. What Kevin had said, the Music Fest on the May 1st from 12 to 8 o'clock, Brookline Boulevard. There'll be a lot of hopping down there that day. Also, Larry Yates at the stadium, who has done a wonderful job. After many years down there, he's retiring the 30th of this month. And congratulations, Larry, for doing such a great job. And also congratulations to Tim Denny and the Recreation Department for their award for what they got. It's a wonderful award. And as I said, it was all the townships in the state, and we came up #1. Thank you.
Commissioner Wexler?
Thank you. I'll add my congratulations to the recreation group as well, bar none the best in the area. I also want to offer my thank you to the Hilltop Civic Association, who hosts my quarterly meetings every quarter in conjunction with their Civic Association meeting, and thank the representatives that came to present about the skate park and the number of people that also attended that and the number of questions that were raised. It's a great meeting. It's a great Civic Association. I thank them immensely for hosting me every quarter for that need. And that's all I have.
Commissioner Oliva?
Yeah, I just have two things. I wanted to just, I get this all the time from people along Westchester Pike, people in my ward, because we have, once the traffic starts to back up on Westchester Pike, it starts, all the feeder streets start to get backed up, and we have people speeding down side streets that they shouldn't be on because the traffic is so bad. And I want to thank this board for approving this resolution, the Congestive Mitigation and Air Quality Grant, that is going to hopefully help that issue. So I wanted to thank you guys for that. The other is tree tenders. There'll be Saturday, April 23rd, and Sunday, the 24th, will be our planting days. If you'd like to get in touch with or volunteer for those, we actually plant the trees. That is, it's, what did I say? Angels Are Us. It's Angels Are Us at Comcast.net with 2 L's. Nothing further.
That's all. And I have really nothing further, but before I take a motion to adjourn, the board will meet in executive session once we retire here with council. And motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. Thank you.